Today we're going to look at word problems involving trig ratios. Before we go into word problems, let's look at angle of elevation and angle of depression. Mickey sees Minnie on top of a building. As he looks up, the angle that his line of sight makes with the horizontal is known as the angle of elevation. So here we have Mickey, and let's make a line of sight where he's looking at Minnie. Now let's make a horizontal line. So the angle in between the line of sight and the horizontal right here is called the angle of elevation. So when you think of elevation, you're thinking about elevate, meaning to move up. So the angle of elevation is generally at the bottom, looking up. Mickey sees Donald at the bottom of the building. As he looks down, the angle that his line of sight makes with the horizontal is known as the angle of depression. So here again, we have Mickey on top of a building. Let's make a line of sight. And then let's make a horizontal line. And when we connect them here, we have our triangle. And this angle right here is known as the angle of depression. Now, a lot of people might draw their angle of depression like this. This is completely wrong. Whenever you're drawing the angle of depression, your triangle should look something like this, okay? With that corner sticking out like that. Superman is near a 20-meter flagpole. From Superman's feet, the flagpole is at an angle of elevation of 50 degrees. How far apart is Superman from the flagpole? So let's first try to make our triangle right here. Now we know the flagpole is about 20 meters, so we'll say 20 meter is on this side of the triangle. And then we also know that this side right here from the bottom going up is the angle of elevation, which is 50 degrees. So now we have to find how far he is from the actual flagpole. Since we don't know what number that is, we're going to label it as X. Okay, now let's label the two sides according to the angle 50 degrees. So this would be the opposite side, and the side that's right next to it, that would be your adjacent. Okay, so now let's write SOHCAHTOA, and let's say we have the O and the A, and the O and the A are right over here, meaning we're going to have to use tan. So again, start out by writing tan and the angle beside it, which is 50 degrees. And O comes first, which is 20, and then A comes second, which is X, so that goes at the bottom. Now, because we're finding a side, we're going to have to cross multiply. So let's write X times tan of 50 degrees on the left-hand side. Then the equal sign, and let's multiply 1 times 20, which is just 20. And now we want to isolate for X, so let's get rid of the tan of 50 degrees by dividing both sides by tan of 50 degrees. Now on the left-hand side, you've got tan of 50 degrees on top and bottom, so we can cancel that, and we're left with X. And 20 divided by tan of 50 degrees, well, that comes to about 16.78. And don't forget the units, which is in meters. Loki must fly down to Thor to explain his latest scheme. Thor is standing at the bottom of a cliff that is 500 meters deep, and he's 150 meters away from the base of the cliff. What is the angle of depression that Loki must fly to reach Thor? Okay, let's start out by making our actual triangle. So I'm going to start off with the line of sight and then draw the horizontal. Here's our triangle. Remember, it should be flipped like this for the angle of depression. Now it says that Thor is standing at the bottom of a cliff that is 500 meters deep. So the cliff itself right here is 500 meters deep. Now, where am I going to put that on the actual triangle? Well, look over here. This is the vertical section. So the vertical section of the triangle is going to be 500 meters. Okay, next it says that Thor is 100 meters away from the base of the cliff. So that means from here to here, Thor is 150 meters away. Now, where would we put that on our actual triangle? This horizontal section right here. So this is 150 meters, meaning we have to find the angle of depression, which is again in between Loki's line of sight and the horizontal line. So we'll label it X because we don't know what it is. Now let's label the sides according to that. So we've got our O, and this side right here is our adjacent, so A. Now let's look at SOHCAHTOA. Once again, we have the O and the A, so we're going to be actually using T for tan. So start out by writing tan and the angle beside it, which is X, is equal to O comes first, which is 500, A comes second, which is 150. Now, when you're finding angles, you have to write it differently. It's going to be angle x is equal to tan inverse. And then in brackets, you're going to write 500 over 150. So now let's write angle x is equal to, and when you calculate the tan inverse 500 divided by 150, you get 73.30 degrees. And that's your final answer.